I used to think these valleys were
version of this entire video, God is not the master of tests. He does not orchestrate difficult times to evaluate your faith. Full stop. You don't need to carry on watching. If you're interested in watching the rest, please stick with me. I do one video a week, generally speaking, but this topic has got me passionate.
a kind of trial to see how my soul progressed.
So, God's not the author of trials. How can I possibly say that? Well, if we have a look at James 1 verse 13, it states explicitly, when tempted, no one should say, God is tempting me. For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. And in fact, some translations use the word tempt, and others use the word test. The Greek root of the word covers both. So this suggests pretty clearly that the source of difficulty is not a divine setup. So what is the alternative? Well, the alternative is that God is there to walk with you through what is, frankly, just life. It's just life 101. So the walking through verse, where does that come from? Well, that's in Psalm 23 verse 4. And it's a companion view. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. So, interesting. It doesn't say, God put me in the valley and then in some sick, sordid game came and walked with me. That is just not God. And this is the piece that has me passionate. It's just life. It's just life. Matthew 5 verse 45 says, God causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. Just like the rain or difficulty is just a neutral part of the human experience. And the key point to this message, it's not a targeted strike. God doesn't go, oh, let me have a look. Oh, there's a person over there. Boom. Let me send some difficulties their way. Not at all. We live life. We're in the world. It is what it is. So let's get into some of the more tricky stuff, diseases or accidents and things like that. So some people will say, well, this God, the so-called God, is in control of everything. So he must send sickness and stuff, or he must allow it to happen. And the reality is, no, it's just part of life. It's just part of being in life. Like if you are obese, you don't exercise, you work yourself under massive amounts of stress, and after many years you have a heart attack. That's not God saying, all right, let's test this person. Let's see if we can give her a heart attack. Make sure, test her faith. Make sure if she stays faithful to. No, actually, reality of it. COVID-19, was it a plague from God? You know, another one that comes up. No, it wasn't. It's a result of humanity. It's a result of being human. These things happen. And I've faced a lot of challenges in my life, and I don't run around saying, God is testing me, God is smiting me, God is making my life more difficult than it has to be. No, living life can be difficult from time to time. If you, for example, like me, live in Johannesburg, and you drive on the roads, people will cut you off, they will shout you, they will block you, they will do this. I don't say, gee, where's God? I'm just trying to go to work. And why are you testing me? Why am I getting smited? God's like, no, Craig, I've got better things to do than worry about that. So where does God fit in this? Well, he walks with us. He provides strength and the peace that passes all understanding. Philippians 4:7. So God is working with us to endure the situation rather than being the one that caused it. And this is a critical component. This is the maybe the second or third crux of Christianity, is that you'll face life's trials. You'll deal with things, right? Things are going to go wrong. I mean, I'm old enough to tell you now, things are going to go wrong, all right? You can face them alone, or you can face them with God. But certainly God is not weaving a little difficulty into your life just to make sure that you're on point. People say act of God. So historically, catastrophic events, floods, plagues, acts of God. They blend very nicely into a modern Christian culture. because people assume that bad things, well, it must be God's doing. So at the moment, the Western Cape is getting flooded, and there's water, and it's absolute chaos. People's houses are getting destroyed and all the rest of it. People are like, why, God, why? Why would you smite us? Why would you send rain to destroy us? Actually, that is a very lazy theology. What it is it's just using lazy theology to explain things that we don't understand. Why does the rain rain and then come through? Well, the scientists will help you along with that. Go and chat to them. They'll explain how the El Nino factor works and how all these things and what causes rain. Oh, we figured that out. If you want to know why an area gets flooded, they'll be able to help you clarify that. What they will not be able to do is confirm or validate a victim mindset that God has decided to give you something to do on the weekends. Not true. So, of course, we now end up with Job, because the one that will ultimately get thrown at you, right? It's going to be thrown at me in the comments, I'm sure. Job. Look, while God allows Job to be tested, okay, it's Satan who actually causes the destruction. And the story ends with God rebuking Job's friends for their simplistic views that bad things only happen to bad people, or that they knew exactly why God was doing what he's doing. Now, I'll put a bit of personal flavor onto this, a bit of, my interpretation, my take over it. If you read that section of the Bible, God is like, or Job is like totally amazing guy, and the devil goes to him and says, listen, Job is this guy will give up on you if he faces a bit of difficulties. He's had too easy in life. So God's like, okay, well, do your thing. So when you say, yeah, but Job, so what that person is saying, so let's for a moment entertain the idea. So you've got somebody that's going along in life, like myself. I get Guillain-Barré syndrome. So I say, well, Job, Job, I am the modern Job. I'm the new generation Job. If you look at Job's life and you look at my life, I wouldn't even begin to qualify for the requirement that the devil went to God with there. I want to end with this, right? The one side of this chat, or the one side of this conversation, is that God orchestrates the crisis. The other side is that God walks through the crisis with you, and life, nature, and free will happen. Purpose is to see if you're strong enough. So God's testing you. Is this person strong enough? No. In fact, God works with you to offer comfort and strength in a time of weakness. God's role is the professor giving the examination. So you've chosen to follow me. You will now deal with the test. Let's see how you do under pressure. No. God is the comforter. It's like, Craig, this bad thing happened to you, or this thing happened to you, or this thing happened to you, whatever the case may be. God's like, not saying, yes, let's see how this test does. Let's see how Craig pulls through this. No. God is saying, I'm here, I'm walking with you, I'm supporting you, I'm comforting you, and I will be walking with you on the journey, right? If you want to just reflect on the two tests, you can go to Genesis 22, where it talks about Abraham's test. Or you can have a look at Isaiah 43, verse 2. When you pass through the waters, what does it say? I will be with you. So yeah, that's my take on this thing. If it gets enough views, I'm sure that I'm going to end up with a million things in the comments. The reality is, I have faced untold headwinds in my life, from when I was born all the way through. I've been paralyzed. I have been in a wheelchair for 3 years. I have not managed my diet. All those things, right? Now, do I blame God for that? No. But of course, there were people who came to me when I was in rehab, right? So I'm in hospital rehabilitation, not drugs and alcohol. This was physical rehab. He came to me and said, yes, God has broken your pot so that he can build you up to a better person. And if I believed that, why on earth would I still follow God? Why on earth would I still believe in God? What kind of a raging lunatic would God have to be, right, to crush people and then come in and say, now that I've crushed you, I'm here to walk through the difficulty I created with you? We wouldn't even do that to our kids, man. No one would do that. No one would do that. I don't think anyone would play that. Can I guess there's odd narcissist out there that might play that game? I still maintain, the best trick the devil ever committed, right, was convincing the world that he didn't exist, or that he doesn't exist. So yeah, pin my colors to that one. Let's see where we end up. But if you are facing difficulties, you are facing a tough time, or you know somebody that's facing a tough time, turn towards God, work with God. Don't blame God. It's not him. He's there to help you. He's there to walk you through.
But now I feel your hand there in the fire.